All right, so in this session, I want to talk about oils. You find out in most ancient cultures, most spiritual practices, they use oils, they use crystals, they use incense, they use certain fabrics, they use certain metals. All of which, for about the same reason, is because there are metaphysical properties attached to each of them. But I want to stop. I want to focus on oil for this session. So, pretty much a general rule is that essential oils, pretty much from any plant, helps to heal the body in some way, shape, or form. Right? But why does this work on a scientific level? Well, it comes down to understanding frequencies. A simple rule, and I've talked about this in the quantum scale. I have full sessions available on Patreon, link in the description, and I've also talked about it in my book, Fullness, Guide to Sonship and Mysticism, more in detail. But what you find out is, well, high frequencies typically are all good things. Low frequencies are pretty much bad things. The higher it gets, the better it gets. The lower it gets, the worse it gets, right? So what oils do is that they allow you to raise your frequency on a cellular level, because each oil carries a frequency. Now, you have something like rose, right? Rose oil actually has the strongest frequency. It's around 320 megahertz. Now, the human body itself is usually around 70. So if we're talking in terms of health, the higher your frequency gets, the further away from sickness and disease and even injury becomes possible. But it's not just about one little drop, it's about permanently changing your frequency so that where you are regularly is much higher than where diseases start to exist. For example, if, like I said, the human body, when it's healthy, right, uh, vibrates at a frequency of around 70, 71, 72. Well, just dropping down into 68 is as much as it takes for the human body to start to experience symptoms of sickness. All the way down, there's a full range of when certain diseases start to happen, but all the way down uh, to 20. Pretty much 20 and below is the frequency of death. If you're only vibrating at 10, 15, 25, you're a corpse. Because even corpses carry a certain amount of energy. So what oils do is that they get into the cells, they get into the skin, and they begin to increase the vibration. Now, certain oils affect certain parts, certain systems of the body. There are oils that focus more on the skeletal system, some that focus on the respiratory system, some that focus on the circulatory system. They focus on what the digestive system. They get specific. If you know what you're doing, most people do not. Now here's the thing. Here's the one thing that I hear people bring up. Because there's this idea that essential oils do not work. And they'll typically give you the most extreme of examples. Would I say that essential oil on its own can close up like a gunshot wound? No, not necessarily, right? Regular oil, for the most part, can't do that. But neither can an over-the-counter, neither can a pharmaceutical, right? That's something that neither on its own can do. But when you actually understand how oils work, it actually reminds me of a quote from Star Wars, where I believe they asked Master Yoda. They was like, "Is the dark side of the Force stronger or better?" He said, "No, it's just faster." And that's really the difference between essential oils and more holistic medicine, natural medicine, and pharmaceutical medicine, is that Pharmaceuticals tend to be quicker, and most of them are suppressants for symptoms rather than actually curing or treating the real problem. An example of this, right? The human body is intelligent on its own. The human body's smart. It's designed to heal itself. It's designed to defend itself, which means if you let it, it'll be fine. An example of this is what happens when, let's just say, you get bit by a mosquito. Well, you get bit by a mosquito, the first thing you notice after you've either killed the mosquito or swatted it away is that you now have a bump on your arm or wherever you got bit. Now, that bump might itch, but guess what? The bump that grows on your skin is proof that your body is intelligent. Why do I say that? Because all that little bump is doing, that's your body, the skin around that area, tensing up to hold the venom so that it doesn't spread through the rest of the body. And it holds it there and sends white blood cells to it so that they begin to destroy it. So pretty much it holds it and contains it until it's able to completely dispose of it, and then it goes back to normal. Now, if I go to get me some over-the-counter ointment cream and I just apply that, this is supposed to get rid of bumps. Great, I dissolve the bump. Now this poison, this venom, is now just in my body because I got my body to relax when it was trying to defend me. It works quicker. The itching might have stopped and the bump went away, but now you got this venom in your body. Well, this is the same with a lot of other things. A lot of regular symptoms are the body's way of trying to detox and heal itself. Pharmaceuticals mostly suppress the outlet that the body's trying to use in order to heal itself. For example, if you ever feel nauseous, the best thing for you to do is just throw up. No, what most people do is they go get them some medicine that'll stop them from throwing up. Now, the body will try every outlet possible to get rid of the toxins because the body found something that doesn't need to be that doesn't need to be here. So it's going to try every outlet you have. Oh, you might start feeling the bubble guts, like you have diarrhea. You say, oh no, not today. So you go get you some medicine that suppresses that. Now it stopped the diarrhea. Well, guess what? The toxins that your body's trying to get rid of are still there. So then it goes to another part. It might try to come out through the mouth. So now you got bad breath. It might try to come out through the skin. So now your sweat smells horrible. Or you start to develop boils. A boil, and I've heard no one explain this better than Yakai. Pretty much, this again shows how smart the human body is on its own. Pretty much, see it like this. Let's just say you have a toxin in your body, something detrimental, something that doesn't need to be there. The body will take it and go put it in a trash bag and sit it outside. So that way, that doesn't just invade the rest of the house, the rest of the body, right? That's pretty much what a boil or a cyst is. It's a little trash bag that the body built to go sit outside. Now what happens? You pop it, you dissolve it, you put you some cream on it. Well, that's pretty much the same as taking a full trash bag and then bursting it open just because you didn't like the way a full trash bag looked. So one of the things that Yakai actually does, if he has people who have boils or things like that, he'll put them on a diet to make them produce more. Because pretty much if you're getting boils and things like that, it's because you have toxins that need to leave. So what better way to make sure you don't have them than to make sure that all the trash gets taken out? Right? So that's really the difference. Pharmaceuticals aren't really made to cure anything. They're made to treat, mainly they're made to treat and suppress symptoms. not actually fix the real problem. And over time, that starts to add up to a few things. What may have started as a bump and a boil might turn into cancer just because that same toxin never got to leave the body. But this is about oils. So what do oils do? Well, oils are a safe way because they actually boost the body's functions to be able to do what it's already going to do. The difference is that it's a bit slower, right? Pharmaceuticals, I have a headache, I take a pill, it's over. Really, you needed a sip of water, but, take a pill, bam, headache gone. Essential oils and holistic medicine don't necessarily work that fast, and that's because they're not suppressing anything. They're not really treating anything. They actually are a lot closer to curing what the real problem is. So essential oils help to vibrate you and increase your frequency to a space where the toxins in your body start to be killed just by the level that you're vibrating at. The higher you go, the less something like that can survive. Kind of reminds me of the way that eagles hunt, where they'll swoop down and grab something and then take it up so high to really a place where only it can survive and it can breathe and suffocate its prey in the air. It's pretty much what you do to all toxins and all negative things that you keep in your body when you start to raise your vibration. Oils are one of the easiest ways to raise your vibration. Now, there's also a science, as far a spiritual science, as oil somewhat can act as liquid altars. An altar is a place where an essence is able to manifest itself, or a spirit is able to manifest itself. It's a pillar, kind of like a receiver or a modem where we get our Wi-Fi from. It's a stationary thing that has the ability to draw upon an energy and release it into an area. Oils do the same thing in that if you know what you're doing, you're able to mix them in the right way. You're able to get a certain effect, right? This is what I did when I started making anointing oil mixes years ago, is that I had a concept that I wanted to make easily accessible. Therefore, the spirit would give me the recipe on how much of this and how much of that and which ingredients to use in order to get that effect, right? So my fire, joy, rest, power, all these different oils that I've made are specifically designed to cater to a specific energy. So that way you don't have to work yourself up for it. It's a condensed altar. Like when I was making my fire oil, all 7 of the 7 spirits helped me minister to it and get it to the right frequency and code it. Because that's the other thing. Oils, just like water, can be coded. They carry frequency and they carry it in the form of shape. So let's just say there's a frequency of prosperity, which means if you begin to vibrate at this frequency, you pretty much become a money magnet. Well, let's say someone is able to take the frequency of prosperity and liquefy it. So that way, all you have to do is anoint yourself with it, and you start to receive the benefits of it. Now, you anoint yourself once, you only benefit from it once, but you anoint yourself enough for where it changes your dominant frequency. Emphasis on dominant, because things can temporarily change our frequency, higher or lower. But when I say dominant frequency, I'm talking about who you are most of the time. There was a guy named Gerald Clark. He had a machine that was able to look at the color that people vibrated at on a regular basis. That could actually see people's vibration. He has videos of it. Gerald sadly passed away a few years back, so he's not doing this type of work anymore. But the videos are still available on his YouTube channel. And he's able to see people's vibration change. The color that they radiate change. He brought in a spiritual person. I want to say That individual, when they looked at him under the camera, was vibrating at around a blue. Well, he started to meditate and the color started to change from blue to purple. This means that in private, when he's meditating and he's being spiritual, he's purple. He's at pretty much the highest state. But that's only when he's meditating. So when he showed up, he was already blue. That means blue, the frequency range of blue, is where he usually is. Most people don't keep their vibration high enough to stay out of the range of sickness and disease and chaos and poverty. They get temporary visits of high frequency lifestyle. And it takes a little bit of work. Now, I'm telling you, one of the secrets is oils. Using essential oils is one of the easiest ways to change your frequency, especially if you're trying to tap into the supernatural, because it gets your body in alignment with what your soul and spirit are trying to accomplish. Similar to electricity, how it needs certain materials in order to pass through, that's the same as you and your vibratory rate. The frequency that you maintain is pretty much your level of being conductive for certain energies. Right now, let's just say if you're vibrating at the wrong rate, a frequency that would bring prosperity or healing or something like that, you could be totally incompatible with. It could move through a room and not move through you just because of the frequency that's dominant in you. I'm telling you, oils is one of the easiest ways. Now, this isn't just an ad for my shop. It is, but not only that, I do want to educate y'all on why this works and how this works. It's a coding. Same way you can encode a radio to tune itself to a specific channel, and everything on that channel then comes through that radio. So there are some wonderful books that do talk about the science of oils. There's my book, Fullness, Guide to Sonship and Mysticism. I do talk about it and all the sciences surrounding it in my book. There's also the book by, I think it's Anna Mendez, or her husband, Emerson Farrell. They write a lot of books together, called The Breath of God Over Essential Oils. It gives you a lot of numbers and things like that, which oils do what. Now, mind you, they don't give you any recipes, so you gotta know what you're doing either way. There are some that are good for just general use, but there comes into where are you getting it from and who's making it and what have they already put into it. That's a whole nother thing. Because, and let me say this, there is a difference between essential oil and fragrance oil. Essential oil from Walmart will do you no good. You have to get the real stuff if you're going to get it at all. Now, if you're looking for some mixes that are already put together, I have different oils available on my shop. I have an oil that recently came out called Healers, which pretty much works to heal and treat anything physical. I have other oils that help to progress you in your spiritual journey. I have some that help you tap into power. I have all types of things. So check that on the shop. Links in the description down below, but it's shop-imperial.com for those who are interested. But that's it for this session. Until next time, y'all be blessed. Later.